if you just think of the number of images of jack dudes that you see that are on anabolic steroids, unfortunately, people find it more normal now.
You basically can do it all from behind your computer desk, regardless of what age you are.
That's where they're going. Is they want the shortcut, right? That's the temptation. They're same age, same circumstances, everything on steroids, open about being on steroids, and probably 20, 30 kilos heavier than them. That, I think, is the scariest part. I mean, obviously we know it's on the rise, and I think there's obviously many contributing factors, but let's get into what we think the strongest driving factor of all these points, and that's body image. And I think that the only thing that's changed between when we started lifting and when kids are getting into it now, starting to lift, people that are 15, 16 years old, is social media. Like, what else could it be? The sources when we were growing up, okay, we had Flex Magazine and Muscle, was it Muscle Nation? No, Muscle Mag, something like that.
Muscle and Fitness.
Muscle and Fitness. And Men's Fitness. Probably Men's Fitness, they probably weren't on steroids, but anyway, there are probably a few guys in there that were from time to time. So that's 3 magazines. You had to buy the magazines, right? So
you could also look at them free in the store.
You could. But even then, it's limited to a very short period of time, right? So
sometimes they're in that Glad wrap. You can't even open them up.
Yeah. And then you've got the other options there. You've got there weren't many bodybuilding films. The only bodybuilding film at the time was Pumping Iron. I even what do they call it? Pirate? When you used to pirate movies? I pirated what's the one? What's Mark Bell's movie? Sorry,
Bigger, Faster, Stronger.
Bigger, Faster, Stronger.
That was it then. And there was tons of just like bodybuilding behind the scenes videos. Like all the big bodybuilders had like training videos you could pirate.
Yeah, but that you would pirate. Yeah, like Dorian Yates.
Yeah, they all had them.
What was Dorian Yates' one?
Blood and Guts.
Blood and Guts. Yeah, the blood and
some shit like
Blood
that.
and Glory or something. Yeah. So there was that, but if you think about where most of the images came from, it came from Hollywood. Arnold Schwarzenegger movies, Sylvester Stallone movies. Right? This was the way that we absorbed, these insane physiques, and that put that in some ways created that body dysmorphia, put that body image issues on you. But there was never I just couldn't think back to a time when I was lifting, the people who I said I wanted to look like, it was like a Steve Cook or a Greg Plitt, or, at some point when you're delusional, like a Phil Heath or a Jay Cutler. But what you didn't have is anyone that you could really relate to, right? And that is the difference, I think, between this generation coming through, this Gen Z lifting generation, and the pressure they feel, and us. And the pressure they feel is they can open their phone and they can find 25 guys on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube that look identical. They're same age, same circumstances, everything, on steroids, open about being on steroids, and probably 20, 30 kilos heavier than them. That, I think, is the scariest part. And I wonder, we weren't in that situation, so I don't know how I would have reacted. But if I had been in that position, when you're very vulnerable, when you're young, and obviously you don't think about the health consequences, you just think about, the prefrontal cortex, the higher decision making when you're younger. It's just not formed yet, right? It's funny because when you're 18 and 17, you think you're quite intelligent. You're like, oh yeah, I've got it figured out. I'm quite smart. Now, when you look back on a 17, 18-year-old, you're like, you're a child. You don't know anything. You're an idiot. And I think that is why they're able to, or that is why it's on the rise. It's just because they're so susceptible to social media and the influence of social media that essentially you're going to create some kind of body dysmorphia by just absorbing so much imagery. You can't not get into health and fitness in Gen Z and then within a week have your entire feed filled with fitness influencers.
Yeah. There's also, I think, the gatekeeper with the internet disappears a bit as well. Because before it was there was a huge gap, right? So it was you in the gym, and then there was bodybuilders you see. And you could be like, okay, I don't want to go that far extreme. You didn't know how many layers were in between. And then also to get it, you kind of still have to usually go through somebody older. So they'd be maybe the meathead at the gym that sells it. And they, maybe some better than others, but most would probably be like, oh, dude, just wait a few years.
Yeah.
They're probably decent advice to you. Oh, dude, smash out your natty gains first, then get on it when you're older. But now with the internet, that's gone.
Yeah.
And you can basically work out, 17-year-olds are really good at the internet. You can work out anything you want on the internet. You can probably even work out how to do it. You can't really do it safely at that age, but you can probably work out how to do it in a reasonable fashion as well. Yeah. You can access all the forums. You can access information online, and you can access buying it online.
Yeah.
So you basically can do it all from behind your computer desk, regardless of what age you are.